Just received this earlier today. I actually opened it already. I needed to make a short video of the unboxing for refunds or returns purposes. I haven't looked at it quite clearly though, so here it is, the Xtep 2000km 5.0. Actually feels pretty good in hand. Pretty cool, it's pretty nice. There's some textured, coarse feel here in the midsole. It's still the usual beaded foams like on the Ultra Boost 5X, or Reebok's own versions. I think with the heel and plastic clip on the side here actually reminds me of the Li-Ning 3 Pro. Similar light feeling beaded foams, same plastic clips on the side for rigidity, and most importantly, they're pretty lightweight. I'll try to weigh this one now. I'll be back. So it's 256 grams. It's not the lightest out there, but still pretty light enough. Again, holding it in hand, there's a texture to the foam, a semi-coarse finish. I guess with other beaded foams, they're smoother. With the Chowdan Wind 2.0, it had a plasticky kind of feel to it. It's also a beaded foam on that one. The toe cap here isn't quite as rigid. It does hold the shape in place, so there's no need to be too stiff like on the 361 degrees Spears Max. And just make it like this. It'll add some rigidity to the shape and some durability, but still soft enough to not hurt your toes. What else? I have a friend who has a size 10 on the 2.0. This one looks sleeker and smaller. So I'll try and fit this one right now. So I'll get back to you again. Okay, so after that short fitting session, I didn't wear any socks though. Still felt slightly snug. It's not tight, just a bit snug here in the toe box. It's quite off from the previous models. They were actually very wide foot friendly. I've read a lot of comments with the 2.0 and 3.0 versions that you needed to size down a half or even a full size. But even then, they were quite wide foot accommodating. This one, I'd say it is true to size, but it also means that if you have wide feet, you might need to size up a half size. Not really a full size, because depending on your foot shape, I guess you can still get away sticking to your own original size. Even if you have wider feet, it will get pretty snug in here. So if you really like that loose and wide fit, you might need to size up a half with this one. The foam feel from that short fitting session, it's squishier than the older versions. It actually feels quite similar to the Chowdan Wind 2.0, and I mean that there's a sink to it. The nylon plate here now actually makes more sense so that it doesn't become too squishy. With the older versions, I think even without a nylon plate and those, they'd still feel firmer and stiffer. They didn't really have that bounce or springiness to it. I mean, there is some compression. It is still a foam, but in general, it is just firmer. Now, I'm not comparing both in terms of running. As you can see, obviously, there's 0 mileage in this one, fresh out of the box. Just the fit or underfoot feel is what I'm talking about. I won't be able to directly compare this with the previous version as well. I only got to try out my friend's 2.0, and that was way back. Up next is, let's check out the insole. So this does have this premium kind of feel to it though, and it is the responsive kind. It's not mushy like the Ortholite ones or a copy of the Ortholite insoles. This actually pairs well with these types of foams. I tried using the mushier ones, similar to those Ortholite insoles on my Float Ride Energy 5 and the Li-Ning 4 Pro. It would be more plush underfoot. Did feel good when stepping in and when walking, but when running, it didn't really make a difference with the Li-Ning 4 Pro. With the Reebok, it just felt weird. The Wind 2.0, however, was more springier and felt more lively with a mushier insole. It was just too thick, and I preferred the thin race-like insole that it came with. I actually felt more grounded using the original insole. This one I think will be springy enough, and it is still resilient, so it won't be too compressive and mushy. So a mushier insole, I don't know, might make it livelier. We'll see. I'm not really into swapping insoles. I just try them out to see what's different, but doesn't really affect much much of the ride when running, especially when you're locked into your paces. Anyway, regardless of the insole, I think with the combo of the insole but or without, the foam here does have some resilience. You will get that immediate response, like when you try to pick up the pace or when you slow down, when you suddenly jump, you can feel the ground a bit and all that. That's what I like about these responsive shoes. Not too mushy that it just collapses and you're just feeling a thick slab of foam. I guess a good example would be the Chowdan TG 1.0. Yes, it is compressive, but when you reach that bottoming out where it compresses and there's just less energy return, the bottoming out part or that compressed foam just feels like an extension of the ground. That feeling might get harsher as you go deeper into your long run, or in long runs in general. It's not cushioned feeling anymore. With this one, might be lower stack, but I think on longer runs it might still have a good amount of cushioning because it is soft enough, but it's not too compliant. Squishing the foam here in hand, I can feel the resilience. It's kind of trying to push back. The amount of how much you can compress is from the flex grooves here. I don't think this would be explosive. I think there'd still be some squish and then good roll. And when I was fitting this one earlier, I did feel the early rocker here. It's kind of like I'm wearing a smaller sized shoe where the ball of my foot is actually more forward or way further than the starting point of the rocker here. It wasn't quite a dramatic roll. For example, with the peak wave tech roll, this is going to be a smoother kind of an early rocker with not much of an aggressive toe spring upward, but the tipping point here starts early. So what else? About the flex grooves, I think the medial side here might be softer. Well, no, actually the lateral side here is much more softer. Yeah, and it does make sense because if you can see here in the medial side, it's not that deep of a flex groove, whereas on the lateral side, it's much deeper and you just have this diagonal lines here, I guess, to prevent you from squishing a bit too much on this side. The medial side's line or flex groove, again, isn't as deep here in the forefoot, so I guess it should be stable enough for pronators. And there's no flex groove here as well in the midfoot, but there's a cutout here in the bottom. So I guess it's just here for that initial squish so that it won't be too harsh, because above this cutout is solid foam. It is there for added stability. Similar to the lateral side, if you land sideways, it really won't be too much or an immediate impact. I guess if you land perfectly here, it will have that nice mushy kind of sensation to it before you roll. And yeah, the diagonal lines here as well, so you don't compress too much here in the forefoot. But I don't know if this will really do anything, or it's just here for design, just a continuation of the X logo here. Anyway, I really am excited to run in this. I could be wrong in my assumptions though. I noticed a thicker outsole, a rubbery kind of soft, so this might mellow out the response a bit. There's also a nylon plate, so it's usually added here for stability, and it extends all the way up to the heel. All of that combination could actually give it a different kind of sensation that might not be what I expected. So again, I like the shoe feeling in hand, even inside the shoe. The tongue is really paper thin here above the forefoot, but where you tie your laces or above your ankles is slightly cushioned. Actually looks thicker, but it's not a dense kind of foam inside. The heel collar though is a bit denser and kind of a plush kind of feeling, and the material here is buttery smooth. Obviously the upper is breathable. As you can see, it's semi-transparent. There's not much BS on the upper, so ventilation will be good. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for stopping by. I'll post a first run or first impressions video about this, and take care.